Looks like we're coming up to some key decisions, so make sure to watch for the key decisions to be put up on the Twitter page. I have a vote going for all major decisions in this game, so the story arc is going to be completely based off of popular vote. If you have not followed me, go ahead and hit that follow button. Hit those notifications. I have a streaming schedule, so check it out on my Twitch. Check out my Twitter. Everything's connected. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks, guys. Okay. So I am streaming live now. You should be able to see it.
I've got nothing on my bounty board. That's a good feeling.
Oh. Well, that's not a good feeling for me. I'd like to see more bounties.
I'm feeling pretty low these days.
At least you got your help.
Let's see here. Okay, is there any other quests that I can pick up in here?
Big drinker, are you?
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm contractually obligated to recite company slogans to any visitors.
You might want to mute that.
Tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
that gives a pretty bad echo.
Go ahead. I don't see how that's any of your business. You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share. My family's worked Spacer's Choice for 2 generations, and I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? That was a wild fancy. Glad I disabused myself. What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming. I woke up. I just didn't have the brains for it. Asked too many questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions I want. Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing 0G? Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head.
Damn, they brainwashed her.
Lab work ain't for me. Never was. Never will be. Spacer's Choice put me where I belong, and for that, I am grateful. What's wrong with that? It's good, honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either. Unless you're in Byzantium. I hear everything's automated there. Not that I'll ever find out. They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong. Not so fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours. So, what's your story? That right? Prove it. I know that serial drama. They were playing it just the other night. What was it called? The Last Spacer? You're right. I don't believe you. I'd advise you to keep that story unsaid. Don't want people thinking you're a loon. Coming right up.
Oh yeah, she doesn't have any of that stuff, but Okay.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. Music to my ears.
I need my lock picking tools. Let's see here.
Something got you down? Nothing. Just a little coffee. We don't get a lot of visitors. Staying long?
Okay. Well, it looks like all I've got left to do is this major story arc. I go do one thing and I'm already over encumbered. Oh man.
Almost lost a finger in the cannery today.
I appreciate what you've done, but we shouldn't be seen together. Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room? Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
Plague got you feeling woozy? Get yourself boozy with Spacer's Choice. Coming right up.
Okay, so that does count for that. Okay. That there, because she doesn't lock pick. Okay.
We'll get you mostly drunk at half the price. Spacer's Choice.
Go
Coming right up.
there. Yeah, those are the heavy ones. Okay.
Wish we had some better rations.
Um, I think I'm gonna try and push that one to plasma damage. Okay.
Wish I could do that.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another. You want to try standing outside in the heat, keeping your sights open for the next marauder raid? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She... appreciate it. Honest. I'll tell you what I can. Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago, she was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about. Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skills far as I could tell. Marauder gang just moved into the districts a little ways east. They're... well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the word... over in the hothouse, tending crop.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
Don't worry about what I am.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
For someone who is so skeptical about me, you seem pretty loose with the tongue.
Hey, I got time. Fresh off the limb.
Journal. I think I've already been here. Yeah, looks like it.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What? You mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be... You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. I'm great at clarifying. No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit. I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong. I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Wait, you're telling me he's got a copy of the Mass Marketeer? Why didn't you say so? I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
That's not my problem.
You trying to get us all in trouble?
Just keep your fingers to your own self, okay?
Why don't you go back to your settlement and quit fucking staring at me?
We can handle this.
Okay. How's everyone doing today?
What is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway? Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well, I've heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Sounds good to me. Always up for getting more money and experience.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
If you guys are just tuning in, take a look at the first couple of videos. It kind of goes through the character creation area at the beginning and kind of gives you a feel for this game if you don't already have it. It's actually a pretty cool design, so check it out.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town. Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged. No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm glad I survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special. Sure. What's up? Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, they're my family. At least I think of them that way. I owe them my life. Would have died in the wilderness if they hadn't chanced upon me, starving and delirious. We all left the cannery for one reason or another. Me? I was let go, mostly on account of my incompetence. I mean, I was incompetent. I couldn't even survive on my own. Grace found me, Adelaide took me in, I've been on my feet ever since.
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery. Not like here. This place had a U-shaped hole, and now it doesn't.
You could stay, you know. Here. I'd be happy to... I mean, we could really use... this isn't coming out right. If you want, Adelaide would make a place for you.
Right on, Captain Killjoy.
Zoe says she fought her way out of a marauder camp with her own bare hands. Fresh off the limb, and that includes...
She sure did. I have to get that. I can sell the alcohol because it just isn't worth it to me to lose all those stats. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Do I have any of that? I forgot to look.
Fresh off the...
Sell junk. Okay. Let's go on out of here. Try and get these mechanic books for him. I'm trying to postpone the main story arc. Want to see some of those votes come in. Check out the Twitter page. I've got votes set up for the Outer Worlds on the main story arcs so that the people choose. You guys get to see what you want to see come of the story arc, so check that out. It's attached to my Twitch account, so should be able to go from there. I believe it's at OMH. And OM is pronounced that way, but spelled OGHAM. So... Okay. So now we just have to go to the community center, pick up the other one. Okay. That's volume 2. I already gave volume 1, so I just need to find volume 3 of that. Goes back out. I think the one that I gave him already was from this area. Because it looks like, except for those couple of boxes, that I've cleared everything out. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. It's alright, we got another book for him, and I think... All right.
Any luck finding one of those manuals? No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment.
that leads back outside. There we go.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer. A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, but the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Make amends? Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap spacers choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them. It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Okay, guys. So this is the story arc that I'm talking about. Hit up that Twitter page. Throw your vote in. Should I bring power to the Botanical Gardens, or should I give power to Edgewater? If you go back to my first video, I believe I've got all the dialogue on the Edgewater side of the conversation. You've just heard the Botanical Gardens side of the conversation. Let me know how you guys want this to go. And we will see you again next Friday on this. Alright, guys. If you are not following, hit that follow button, hit those alerts. I have a schedule posted there. My Twitter is attached to the Twitch account. Hit everything up, follow, like it. You know, let your friends know if you are following already. Let them know that I do these streams. And I've also got, on my Twitter account, I've also got votes for games that you would like to see played. And I've only given a small selection of games. And what I'm going to do is rotate those monthly and see what the community wants. So make sure to hit the follow. Make sure to go over to the Twitter and hit the follow there. Make sure to vote on everything, and I will see you guys back again. Thanks so much.